The cartoon is transferred and verdaccio is in progress. In Fresco, the color is not just smeared thick over the surface like artist that knows little is able to do with other mediums. The color is built by underpainting of values and form with transparent color building depth and saturation. Classic oil or tempera painting adopted this technique and employed it via three stages: imperatura, underpainting, dead layer. Never mind those little drips just below the faint charcoal line. Plaster will be scraped off up to that line at the end of the day. Thin paint drips and due to that frescoes are always painted on top down. You see the drips are gone, so is the axis of the plaster. Plastering more than a foot over than what is to be painted seems like an awful waste. However, since the one has to paint on wet plaster and plaster begins to dry as soon as it is on the wall, it is essential to make sure that the edge will not dry into the painting. Leaving enough plaster between its edge and the actual edge of the giornata will create the necessary barrier. Carefully, bit by bit, Ian removes excess plaster up to a day line. Second giornata will be seamlessly mended to a previous one. Ian begins to apply the base Intonico coat, carefully bringing it up to the perfect cut line from a previous day. Here is a close-up of a delicate plaster surgery. After applying uniform band of Intonico base along the cut line, Ian removes all of the little specks of plaster and loose particles of sand that still remain on the edge using a small tool. Base Intonico is applied and Ian floats the surface to remove all remaining imperfections in the plaster coat. Next step is the final Intonico skim. Dolphin fresco is a fine example of combining ancient Pompeian fresco method when colored Intonico plaster was used to achieve uniformity of background color. Early Mediterranean Ionic imagery design and Renaissance style of verdaccio underpainting is used to create a new interpretation of classic theme, seamlessly integrated into contemporary setting. The base C color and final Intonico skim are almost completed. It seems like Pompeian method of fresco painting was lost together with the city itself. However, certain elements in the post-modern art may lead to its reincarnation within contemporary fresco. Once again, like with the sky, a thin layer of colored lime putty is troweled over a fresh Intonico, and it is time for the cartoon transfer. Using charcoal powder and pounce bag, over perforated tracing, the design has been transferred to the wall. With transparent verdaccio, the composition is being modeled to obtain depth and value. Ilya Nosov continues to develop verdaccio underpainting. Underpainting is the foundation for successful painting, and the key to underpainting is in your cartoon. Lousy cartoon, and you're stuck. There is much spoken about golden hour, but it is still a mystery for most of us. In Ilya Nosov's opinion, golden hour is when the underpainting is completed and it is time for the color, which all of a sudden begins to fit and just does make sense with each brush stroke.